Good afternoon, everybody. For those who this is the first video of mine that they're seeing, my name is Stephanie Marrow. I have been a hairdresser for 5 years, and for 4 of those years, a little over 4 of those years, I was a just hardcore DevaCurl fanatic and user. I was a DevaCurl certified stylist. I did their training in Soho, New York, and I was growing my hair out with DevaCurl products, and it was flourishing for a very long time, growing quickly, beautiful, beautiful curls. You can go through some of my Instagram or other videos to see those curls. And then about 9 months ago, I realized something was off. Something was off before 9 months ago. 9 months ago was when I made a connection to it possibly being DevaCurl products. I thought that my hair was just misbehaving. I don't know, hair can just misbehave, right? Maybe it was because it's hot in Florida and humid. Maybe it was because I had done highlights. But weird things were happening. My clients and myself were experiencing our natural hair color lightening too. That's not weird. That's not right. Bleach, once you're done processing it and rinsing it and washing it out, it doesn't just spread to more of the hair. I had clients who had never colored their hair or processed it in their life with their natural hair color lightening. Most starting like in the lengths, their roots were typically darker. This is just one of the many unexplainable things that was happening to myself and my clients 9 months ago, when I made the connection that the common denominator among me and all the clients that were using DevaCurl, that our hair and scalps were doing the same crazy stuff, and we were all using DevaCurl, and we didn't share any other similarities. Some of them, I hadn't even cut their hair in like 2 years, and they were coming back with the same issues, but they were using DevaCurl. I had clients who live in completely other parts of the world, but got their products in the United States or through some website. They got it to them, or they were in a part of the world where they carry DevaCurl products. All of us were having the same issues. Our hair is like a different texture. It wouldn't hold on to moisture. I mentioned it lightening in color for a lot of people. And scalp-wise, a lot of scalp irritation, dryness and dandruff, sometimes like acne on the scalp or pimples. And then hair loss is the biggest one that has impacted people significantly, physically and emotionally. Anyone who's been through anything that caused hair loss for them knows how upsetting it can be. Damage we can try to hide with products and stuff, but bald spots are a little bit more difficult to hide. And this wasn't just any kind of hair loss. It was hair loss that had the same patterns as hormones would impact when you had a dramatic change in hormones. I'm not a doctor, I won't pretend to be one, but I've had clients who were pregnant and then had children multiple times in their life in the time that I've known them, and each time they would develop hair loss in the recessions of the hairline here. And that's the patterns that I was seeing on people like me who'd never been pregnant in our lives, and also menopausal women. And it's been so mind-boggling and mind-blowing and upsetting. Like, I have a stomach ache as I'm making this video. I was moved to make this video, even though I've made so many other videos, because with being home with COVID-19, I had people ask me if I would be willing to do video consultations since I am not in the salon. And I decided to do so just a couple of weeks. What I'm finding, which isn't that different than the past few months of people coming for consultations in the salon, is that most of those who are coming all of those who I've done video consultations with had, except one, had damage from DevaCurl products, or were using DevaCurl, and they experienced the same adverse reactions that so many others are experiencing. And, you know, they want me to look at their hair and just help them. And, you know, this isn't something that a haircut fixes. I even cut all of my hair off, and the hair in the areas where I had the most hair loss is growing back in, still with that funny texture. And when I condition it, it like falls out there, and it's growing in like reddish in color, which is different from it was growing in white in color. Now it's growing in red. It's like it's regaining the melanin. So it's like the products pull the melanin from the hair, but also from the follicle. That's where the melanin is produced and given to the hair strand. My heart's racing. I just finished 2 consultations, and it just, every time I see someone come to me with this problem, it is heart-wrenching. And I do everything I can to help, but I'm hoping that this video is like a summary of the information I could give you in a video consultation, because I have to charge for my time when I'm doing these consultations, just like I did in the salon. And I don't want to make money off of this situation. I want everyone to get the information that they need and with the products that I recommend, and not feel like they need to pay for a consultation with me. I don't want that. I want to help you, and you asked me to do these consultations, and so that's why I created them. But I don't want it to be part of my business. I'd rather be helping you as a victim of these products who just happens to know thousands of other people who have found something that works. So first of all, to anyone watching this who, whether you're sure or not, is using DevaCurl products and experienced any damage to their hair, hair loss, or any of the other side effects associated, I want you and need you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. You did everything that you were told to do. You followed the rules. You followed the rules. You did what everyone said was best for curly hair and or wavy hair. And it probably worked for a while, and then maybe it stopped working, and it's not your fault that it stopped working, and I need you to know that. And it's not your fault that you didn't figure out what was going on sooner. I need you to know that. It took months for me to figure out what was going on, and it's a miracle I figured it out. It's a miracle, the sliver of a chance that I just refused to stop using the products, even though my hair was going crazy, until I figured it out. Like, I used them until the day I figured it out, even though my hair was going crazy before that. I could have switched brands earlier like Dennis did, and I wouldn't have suffered the damage that I did. So I just need you to know that you couldn't have done anything differently without knowing what you know now. And it's just how life is. I couldn't force myself to have a realization until it happened. And you couldn't have gotten to these videos and learned this information until you got here. It's just, and there's no other reason why you should have stopped using the products. No one was telling you this was going on until they did. So please, if you're blaming yourself in any way, send yourself love, because that's what you need and deserve right now, and nothing less. Okay, so where do we go from here? I'm going to give you the information that I give to my clients and that I give to the people who do video consultations with me, and in hopes that you will follow that first before you consider spending $50 to do a video consultation. Because, like I said, if you can get the information you need, but not everyone is going to watch this video. Not everyone is going to And there are still going to be people who just really want to talk one-on-one. But I just want to make sure that I've exhausted all the other ways for you to get help. And then the last resort being actually like booking an appointment with me. Not because I don't want to talk to you. I love meeting the people that I meet, but I just want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to not cost you more money than you've already wasted on these products. So yeah. So hair can't fix itself. Product can help, can't fix it, it can help. Our bodies luckily are incredible healing machines, and they will regulate back to normal for the most part on their own. I don't know how fast it will be, how long it will take. I don't know. Every body is different. For me, my areas where I had the most significant hair loss, they're getting better. I know I have new growth because it's coming in different colors. But as you can see here and here, it's probably more significant on this side. I tend to sleep on that side, and tension, friction, these things can cause the hair to fall out if it's already prone to falling out. So what do we do now when it comes to our hair loss is we just need to prevent it from anything from stopping it from getting better on its own, basically. What I believe is that the hair is not only, the follicles are not only shedding hairs more, but that those that aren't shedding hairs are like stuck in a resting position. When I was growing my hair out, because I did my first chop like this in October to remove, I thought I was removing all the DevaCurl damage, but it seems like it's growing. I don't even know what to call it anymore, because is it still damage if it's growing out of my follicle? Hair shouldn't be able to become damaged in the follicle. So it's like it's just a different texture. I would consider any hair beyond the scalp to have been damaged if the product touched the hair. But if the product didn't touch the hair, it can't have damaged the hair. So that's a bit of a mind F for me right now. It is fascinating in the worst way possible. So the hair is not going to grow as fast in those areas too, and maybe throughout your head as maybe what you're used to. This became very apparent to me when I dyed my whole hair blonde, and then I was like, it's like the whole front stayed blonde, and I had an inch from here back of almost black regrowth, and all of this, I didn't have that regrowth. And I was still shedding a lot of hairs in the front, even after cutting it. So I don't know why it's stuck in that resting phase. I'm assuming that damage to the follicle causes that to happen. Maybe it has something to do with whatever caused it to be a hormonal change too. I don't know a whole lot about hormones. I just know the patterned hair loss that's associated because I'm a hairdresser. So sorry for all the ums and long pauses. I have so much anxiety right now because I'm being totally honest with you about everything that I believe is going on, and I know that a lot of it is information that you don't want to hear. So if you don't want to hear it, just don't watch, because this is what I would tell you if you did a video consultation with me. You'd want to know what's going on and how to fix it, right? So this texture, this fabric of the hair, so your body should re-regulate and start to grow hair at a normal rate again, I hope. And I can't promise anybody anything. I'm just doing my best to figure out what could possibly make it worse, what could help. So I believe that because what I believe is that it's something from the plastic that caused something that it's not in the formula, so not on the label, something to leak into the product, and that's what's causing harm. And I believe that it's in all of the products that have this plastic and were maybe exposed to heat. Maybe it was a change in the warehouse, or the trucks got hot, something. I think it's a change in plastic and and an increase in temperature, or it's just an increase in temperature with the same plastic. That's my theory. It's not a random theory. I've done a lot of research and a lot of process of elimination too. And I've talked to professionals in different industry, including the plastics industry, who agree that this could definitely happen, and there's testing to test for it. It would be a minimum of $10,000, which is why lawyers are probably the lawyers doing the class actions, which I'm not part of one right now because I have to figure out like where I fall in all of this, because this did not just damage my body and my hair and my mental health. It damaged my business, and my relationships, with my clients and stuff. So it's multifaceted, and I just need more time to figure out what I'm gonna do. So for those asking about that, that's the answer to that. But in a class action filing, they're more likely to settle for something like, oh, well, all these people used the product and they didn't get what you were promised. You were promised beautiful hair and your hair got damaged. And DevaCurl will say, okay, we're gonna pay you out all this money so that you feel you got what you deserve, and then we're not gonna go to court, and there's not gonna be testing, because the attorneys don't wanna shell out tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to prove there's a toxic chemical in the product from the plastic. If I can make that happen, I will. I'm having conversations about it. That would bring me a lot of peace, and I know it would bring you a lot of peace too, to know what's in it. Until we know what's in it, how do we fully move forward? How do we undo what's been done? Like, I'm worried about my health. If I knew what happened, then I could go to a professional who can help me understand how to undo whatever happened to me physically. So yeah, I did write some things down because I didn't want to forget anything. I'm hoping this is the last DevaCurl video I feel the need to make until I have good news for you. So if you used the styling products, you probably incurred really the most damage to your hair because you were leaving them in for days at a time, probably. Those with the least damages are probably those who only used a shampoo or only used a conditioner and would only use it maybe once a week and fully rinse it out. You're not gonna be harmed by a chemical as much if you're just using it for a couple of minutes every now and then and fully rinsing it out versus leaving it in. I believe that I had a very high absorption of the product because I used the styling products and I went to very hot fitness classes. I was doing yoga and HIIT classes in a over 100-degree room. That opened up the pores of my scalp. Your scalp is part of your skin. It has pores, and those pores are called follicles because they grow hair. And it absorbed into my follicles deeply. That could be why my hair is still really struggling in those areas and growing in different colors. Just another theory. So if it's from plastic, I had this like light bulb moment when I was during a video consultation. So another reason I missed the conversation with clients is we have all these conversations and sometimes we have aha moments together, light bulbs go off. And I was like, she was asking me why the brand Oway that I use now is working better than other brands that I switched to before I learned about Oway. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're not as diluted. Like there's a higher concentration of good ingredients than a lot of brands who sell in retail stores are gonna, water out their products. But then I was like, well, I tried another brand though that doesn't sell in Ulta and Sephora, and that didn't help like this helped. Maybe it's just because they weren't really a treatment-based brand. It was more just about like moisture and color protection. Why did this work so much better? And I had this light bulb go off that was like, hey, Stephanie, remember when that really dumb ex-boyfriend of yours poured straight bleach all over your apartment floor to clean it, and your inside of your nose went raw. And ever since then, this was years ago, I have an extreme sensitivity to bleach. As a hairdresser, it means that my nose runs and eyes water if I'm doing highlights, until I started using like ammonia-free color. If I got bleach on my arm, it would literally be like red and raised up immediately in a burn. And that was never a problem for me before I had that high level of exposure. So if it's the FDA allows a certain amount of bad things to be in plastic. And for those things to touch our food, to touch our water bottles, on our water sources, and to touch our cosmetics. So it's possible that because OA is in glass, not plastic, that products that are coming in plastic have these trace amounts that would not normally show like visible harm to you, but that you've developed a sensitivity to it. But then again, that explains the body more than it explains the hair, because your hair isn't living. But if your hair was being really negatively impacted by this chemical, and their chemical is in trace amounts in other products, it's possible that it limits how much it can improve. It will improve. After DevaCurl, anything you use will make it look better than it looked before you stopped using DevaCurl, and your hair loss should immediately decrease, unless you're using something that maybe has a presence of this chemical, but we don't know what the chemical is. And we don't have the means, especially right now, I'm not even working. We don't have the means to just get the testing done. It's not that simple. I actually had a lot of labs turn me down completely without even getting past me telling them that it's a hair product that's not my hair product. They're just like, we don't do that. So I felt like very just like I've reached a point where I think I know as much as I can know until there's testing done. So I just wanted to share everything that I understand with you. In the description of this video, I'll put my recommended products, the brand that I use, OA. I found it because a hairdresser I met when I was working with another brand announced she was going to a salon that carried this brand OA, and why she was going there. She had been having dermatitis on her hands, and she decided, she didn't want to work with artificial fragrance anymore, and she wanted a more eco-friendly brand. So that's when I looked into them and tried it, and it helped my client's hair in one wash, where nothing else could really improve it to that level in one wash before. So it's been quite a few months since I've been using it now, and I've been able to do enough research and ask enough questions of the people who use it to figure out which is working best for people who have this kind of damage. I will list that below. They are a professional, like through professionals only brand, meaning they don't use influencers, and they don't use, you can't buy direct from them in North America, because in North America, we have a really big problem with diversion, which is where products get into the wrong hands and they end up on Amazon, or they end up in CVS and stuff, and they are often counterfeit product or they're tampered with. And so what they do is they only sell through a professional code. I get a commission when you use that code, and you get $5 off. And only professional stylists can get a code and be a representative or affiliate of OA through the Holistic Hair Tribe program. If you are outside North America, just contact OA if you want the products and find out how you get them. They're in a lot of other countries, like over 70 countries. So it's likely you can get it. It just won't be through me and through my code. So I'll put all that information below, full transparency as always. I hope that you guys get the help that my clients and the people I've spoken to have been getting. And I hope that that there's an end to this, an end where we have the closure that we need, which means knowing exactly what happened. And I hope that this situation is something that is a catalyst for change in the United States, change in the cosmetics industry, and that it never happens again. I love you guys. You can follow me on Instagram at @TheCurlNinja, and I will talk to you soon.